Unity doesn't fail by accident. It gets disrupted, internally and externally, because it threatens systems that rely on hierarchy, scarcity, and control. The moment people begin cooperating instead of competing, power structures lose leverage. So unity isn't ignored, it's interfered with. One of the first sabotage points is fear. Fear makes people revert to survival mode, and survival mode is individual, not collective. When people feel unsafe, they don't build communities, they build walls. They stop trusting, they stop sharing, they start protecting. This is why instability is constantly manufactured. Calm populations are harder to manipulate. Another sabotage point is infiltration. Every movement that grows large enough to matter attracts influence. Not always violent, not always obvious. Sometimes it comes as leadership disputes, purity tests, ego clashes, ideological splits, or internal competition. You don't have to destroy unity if you can fracture it. Then there's distraction. Unity requires attention, care, and effort. Distraction drains all three. Endless outrage cycles, cultural wars, trending scandals, identity conflicts, these don't happen randomly. They keep people emotionally busy but structurally powerless. You can't build anything when you're constantly reacting. Another major factor is unresolved trauma. Hurt people don't unite easily. They misinterpret. They project. They assume harm where none exists. They build defenses before building trust. This isn't a moral failure. It's a nervous system response. But unhealed trauma becomes a wedge that keeps people divided even when they want connection. Scarcity narratives are another tool. If people believe there's not enough, cooperation feels risky. Sharing feels dangerous. Trust feels like a gamble. So even when abundance exists, people behave as if it doesn't. This keeps them competitive instead of collaborative. There's also identity sabotage. When unity becomes tied to ideology, belief systems, or moral superiority, it stops being unity and becomes tribalism. People stop asking, "How do we live better?" and start asking, "Who belongs?" That question alone fractures everything. And finally, there's hopelessness. If people can be convinced that unity is impossible, they'll never try. If they believe humans are naturally evil, selfish, or violent, they'll accept division as normal. Hopelessness is one of the most powerful control tools because it shuts down imagination. Unity doesn't collapse because it's weak. It collapses because it's targeted by fear, by distraction, by trauma, by infiltration, by scarcity narratives, and by engineered hopelessness. If unity were harmless, it wouldn't need to be sabotaged.